you ready?
I am if you are.
You got Big Eye Boogie. Hey guys, it's Symphony.
Hello.
So today we are doing our top 15 favorite records out of our collection. He came up with this idea forever ago, and I don't want to say that I hate doing record videos because like it's just the thought of it seems like a lot of work, so that's why I haven't wanted to do this. But you know, we're in quarantine, so I have no excuse now.
Personally, I love it. I could just go on and on.
I mean,
so
I definitely could talk about music. I just always feel like no one would actually be interested in like hearing me talk about music. But yeah, honestly, my record collection proved that wrong. That video has the best response out of any on my channel. I have my top 5, he has his top 5.
Kitty. No,
here,
no, I don't
baby.
want him over here.
I
If
do.
Just me.
Come here, honeys. Ow! Ow! Look at his teeth mark!
I told you. Hi, Bubba. Oh, what happened? Okay.
Hey, baby. Ow! Stop!
Oh,
Keep
baby.
it hard.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm gonna go through my top 5 favorite records. He'll go through his, and then we have 5 that we like equally love. It was too hard to only pick 10, so we decided to do 15.
We could go through our top 5. You can do one, then I'll do one, then you do one, and
Yeah,
and then
let's do that.
both do. We'll have the shared as the grand finale.
There we go. That's a good idea. Okay, I'll go first then. So my very first favorite record that I have is Ghost by Sea Haven. The reason I love this so much is because, for one, this bitch is beautiful. This one I found when I was in Colorado. On the backside, it has this entire EP, album, whatever, in full, but an acoustic. And it's kind of jumbled up, but if you know me, you know I love acoustic shit, so
That's
just a blessing. And I had no idea that it had the acoustic recordings on there, so that was fucking awesome.
And for it being like their first record too,
Oh my
like
God,
I'm
that's
sure
so
that's
good.
not an easy record to come by.
No, it's really not. And like, I don't really know what pressing this is. I mean, I'm not really big into all the different pressings personally, but from what I know, this one's like somewhat kind of rare. They definitely didn't make like a shit ton. I also really like this album because the lyrics hit home for me personally, so it's a really good one. Your turn.
I'm gonna start off since this is just the top of the stack. This is a long drive for someone with nothing to think about. For somebody.
It's a fucking long one.
Yeah, for someone. By Modest Mouse. And this was their first like LP, their first record. This isn't quite my personal favorite Modest Mouse record. Lonesome Crowded West is my definite all-time favorite, probably one of my top 5 favorite albums of all time. But this one is like so good to have on vinyl though. Just especially like first song on it is just such a ride, and it's a good album to have. Good one to have in the collection.
Okay. So my second favorite, this goes into one of my top favorite albums of all time, for sure. This record is extremely rare. He got it for me for my birthday, and this is like one of my most prized possessions right here. Ben Howard is hands down like one of my favorite artists of all time. I have his lyrics tattooed on my arm. I plan on getting more of his lyrics tattooed on me. He is just so good and makes me feel really fucking happy, so.
My next one is gonna be In Rainbows by Radiohead, which this is technically her record, but
They're ours.
true. But yeah, In Rainbows by Radiohead, which it's hard to tell which Radiohead album is my favorite. This is definitely either my favorite or my second favorite, but this one is my favorite on vinyl. This is just a very nice, relaxing, good album, like from start to finish.
It's good to do art too.
It's my favorite album to do art to. It's a very creative album. Radiohead's amazing. This record is amazing.
My third favorite, I mean these aren't really in order, but Coldplay Parachutes, dude. Okay, I get it that a lot of people don't really care for Coldplay, but if you just listen to this album front to back, it will change your life. I found this because of the movie Garden State, and then my dad was like, oh, you like this song? You need to listen to this whole album. So I did, and I loved it. And it's like one of the most ideal albums to have on vinyl because it just sounds so good. It's so relaxing, and it's a feel-good album too, for sure.
And I gotta say, I was one of those people, like, right beforehand that kind of dissed on Coldplay because I'd only ever heard their songs on the radio.
Yeah.
And so she got me to listen to that album, and that is a stunning album.
Yeah, it
So
really
good.
is.
Alright, so my next one is going to be a Christmas. Yeah, Christmas. A Christmas gift from Sim. And this is one of my favorite bands, Dinosaur Jr., Where You Been? This one came out in 93, one of my favorite Dinosaur Jr. records. It has, like, my favorite song, Start Choppin', on this one. But this is, like, most of their records are pretty expensive. So this is one that I would have never bought myself because I I always feel so bad about any time I spend any amount of money. So she got this one for me for Christmas.
For a gift, though.
Exactly. So I appreciate this one to no end.
Speaking of records that I bought him for Christmas. Or was this your birthday? I don't know. But it was a record that I got for him as a gift. But I feel like I listen to this more than you do.
You kind of do.
This album is so good. Like, it's literally acoustic grunge, and I don't know what you could want more than that. And it's not even like grunge like fucking Nirvana. I know everybody likes Nirvana. I'm not the biggest fan, but Alice in Chains, though, they're like a whole other level, especially this, and especially if you've like seen, what is it, the whole like movie documentary, the live performance. If you watch the video of this, it is so good.
Nailed the sound.
It reminds me of like Pine Grove's Audio Tree. Like, they have like a certain sound to their audio tree where it doesn't sound like their album recordings, but it's almost like elevated. Arguably, it's a little bit better. That's how I feel about this, because like, I love Alice in Chains anyways, but the way that they got their sound on this is just so good.
Perfect.
So good.
And the fact that it was like their first show in like 3 years, and
He knows
it
all the
was
facts.
Trust me, please dive down deep into that album because there's so many crazy facts, and just kind of like with Lane Staley is like their first show in years, and it was their second to last show ever before he died. The whole backstory along with it and everything makes the album just that much better. And because me personally, like top 5 albums of all time. Sure. Another Christmas gift, Siamese Dream by Smashing Pumpkins. This one is another top 5 albums of all time for me, and this is another one that was expensive as hell, and I would have never bought myself. So thank you.
I think that's honestly the most expensive record we have right now.
It is. This is beautiful. Like, look at this.
So cool.
Like, they really put some work in on this record.
Yes, they did.
And it sounds amazing. This is one of those albums that's like, holy shit, front to back. Can I say shit on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. Holy shit, front to back on this one. And especially on vinyl, it sounds so much better. There literally are records that sound 10 times better on vinyl than anything else, and I'm not just being a hipster saying this.
No, it's facts.
It is facts, bud. Thank you for this one, because this is like my holy grail of records.
So my last personal favorite, I had to throw a Beatles album in here because like the Beatles are the reason that I like music in general. They started everything for me. They are my fucking rock. So I chose this one, Let It Be, because this has recently been my favorite to listen to, especially on vinyl. I don't really have as many Beatles records as I would like to. I mean, my collection definitely is not bad, but like, it's a dream of mine to literally just own every single Beatles album, especially remastered. I mean, the OGs would be cool, but the remastered, you can really just... the sound is so good. I have like a whole bunch of like really random Beatles records, and I have a lot of like soundtracks, but this is one of the ones that's been remastered, and it sounds so fucking good. The specific sound they have in this one is just chef's kiss.
So mature on that one.
Yeah, and it's just so like raw in a sense too. I don't know, it's just what I've been into. It always fluctuates which album I'm into at the time, but this has been my recent, so thought I'd shout that one out.
It's such a beautiful album cover,
Oh,
too.
it really is.
Okay, so for my last personal favorite, it kind of goes into the same realm as yours, actually.
Yeah.
Like, kind of an oldie, because most of my music is like, I like a lot of 90s stuff. And so my last one is going to be Dark Side of the Moon. This one sounds so good on vinyl. This is just it's a journey. This album is truly a journey, and I love albums that are like, you know, kind of like OK Computer or like a lot of Beatles albums.
Right.
The albums that are just like journeys to go on, and you just have to listen to it front and back. So this one is like that perfect album to just sit and just really listen to front and back. So this one definitely goes in one of my top 5 favorite records.
Those are our personal favorites. Now we're going to go into our shared favorites. Top 5.
We both are just in love with.
Yes. These are like, we're picking out a record together. What do we choose? Number 5, Salad Days by Mac DeMarco. You didn't even fucking know Mac DeMarco when we first got together. Everyone would like
weird.
joke with him about his style, like the way he dressed and everything, and would be like, you look like a Mac DeMarco fan. And he had literally never even heard Mac DeMarco.
I only started listening to Mac DeMarco's because people told me that I looked like I listened to Mac DeMarco.
Literally,
I didn't even know him for any other reason. But it's funny because I ended up really liking his music.
See, I'm not trying to sound like a hipster, but the aesthetic of this album, like, are you fucking joking me? Those are 2 incredible photos. And then
it's a cool photo too.
And the poster that came with this, like, oh my god, I love Max so much.
Yeah.
Number 4 would be Melophobia by Cage the Elephant. We both have been into Cage literally since they fucking started.
Yeah.
Like, I know for me, my dad at the time was like really into hearing like, it was on like iTunes or something, like it would be like the song of the week or whatever, or it'd be like new releases, and he would just go to like fucking Best Buy, buy the album on CD and check the whole thing out. It was just something he did. Their first album was one of those for him, and he instantly showed it to me and was like, you're gonna love this. And their first album, cake out of the water.
I was like waiting for that first album before it even like fully dropped. Like, we've both been here since 2009 for this band.
Cage is like a really important band to us, and I feel like this one specifically we listen to the most on vinyl. I don't know why. It's not really their chillest, but it just sounds really, really good on vinyl.
Yeah.
And like I said, I wasn't super into it when they first dropped it, but for some reason, like, being with him really got me into it. And I mean, look at that artwork.
It's just got a really nice, just like
Cage.
classic feel to it. I don't really know how to describe it. It just,
that word makes sense for some reason.
yeah, it's like a nice, like, crisp, classic old car.
Yeah. Number 3. For Emma Forever Ago by Bon Iver. This album to me is near and dear to my heart. It's like a rainy day or a snowy day. So good to just be like stuck inside, throw this album on, have your Christmas lights on while you're watching the snow, drinking some coffee.
It's
a mood.
Anytime it snows.
But it's like the comfiest mood. It also reminds me of like being out in the woods and being out in the mountains in the wintertime, just in general. Not even snowing, but like if we had a cabin in the woods and it was like a very quiet, peaceful winter night.
Well, it's kind of cool too, because this album also has a pretty cool backstory as well.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I won't go into it. Look up on it yourself, but this album has a cool backstory.
It always makes it better to listen to when an album has a good backstory, honestly.
Yeah.
So now we're in our top 2. Skylight by Pine Grove. Oh my god. The main like LP is just the album, and then the second one is the whole entire album, but Evan doing it acoustically. Yeah, look how pretty. I love clear vinyl. It looks so cool. But we got this on their tour. I want to say they like only had it on tour when you got the acoustic version, so it's like kind of rare. It's like a tour pressing. This album means a lot to us both. Like, I don't even want to get into it because I get very sappy about this album, but it came out at such a crazy time of what we were going through.
Wow, yeah.
And it symbolizes a lot, like, within our relationship, but then also, like, at least the beginning of the album, especially the first song, really resembles some shit that we went through, but the end of the album is very, like, self-reflective, which I think is extremely important. And it just leaves off on such like a good note, and this album just feels like you're getting a big tight hug. I don't know, it means everything to me. Pine Grove is my favorite band. It's our favorite band, actually.
They are.
I have a Pine Grove tattoo. I love them. I decided that we had to show this as our #1 favorite record of all time. Everything so far by Pine Grove. So we had the CD in our car for ever. We bought this at their tour as well. Basically never took it out of our CD player and would just play it on repeat, just over and over, until I accidentally one day threw it away. And so we were like, fuck! And it sucked to have to like plug in our phone to listen to it and everything. But so that's why we both had the idea to buy this album for each other for fucking Christmas.
Yeah.
And I just had this gut feeling, like, it was like the day after I ordered it, and I finally just confronted him and was like, look, I know we got each other the same fucking Christmas present, and when we both nailed it down to, okay, it's a record.
It was the only Pine Grove record we didn't have.
Yeah, that too. And so I was like, all right, count to 3, we're gonna say what album we bought for each other. And it was like 1, 2, 3, everything so far, and we were like, God damn it, son of a bitch! But we kept both of them. I don't know. I honestly feel like we switch up which ones we play like constantly.
I have no clue which one we play. We just grab whichever. I don't know.
But this album,
it's fine.
Front to back, I mean, it's a very long album.
But
literally, there's not a bad song on this.
If you want to know Pine Grove and know,
yeah.
like, for me personally, if you want to know why I like Pine Grove so much, their deep tracks are on this one.
Their deep tracks are the best.
Side C and side D is like where you're gonna find the stuff. Like you can get, it's like I kind of compare like the side C and D to like the second half of Abbey Road in a sense.
Yeah.
That it's like better to listen to it all because you can get lost in it.
For real.
It's like, which song am I even on right now? Like
I would say honestly, side A has like their most popular songs. Like it has New Friends, Angelina, Problems, Size of the Moon. Side B starts to kind of dip in a little bit, but then side C is just like deep tracks.
That's true. Side B is
Side
B has my favorite songs.
Every time I throw this record on, I started on side B.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. Pretty much, I start it on Need whenever I'm in the car, and then just skip Size of the Moon, and then just listen to the rest from there. Because it's so good. This album is literally everything. Everything. Everything so far.
Everything so far, man.
Everything to me. Those are our top 15 favorite records. I hope this was enjoyable to watch. Leave some of your favorite albums down below, especially like ones that you like to have on vinyl. And maybe we'll just expand our collection. Because I know there's so many that we want to get. But yeah, we would definitely love some suggestions. So yeah, leave those in the comments if you like this video. Give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Bye guys.
Mom.